Hey everyone, this is Alan from BMW Durham, back with another video. And today we want to talk about what it's like to be in our third month of ownership with the 2022 BMW M240i xDrive Coupe. Alright, so as you guys know, I have a Thunder Night Metallic 2022 BMW M240i xDrive Coupe G42 body style. I just sprayed down the car because it was a mess. Still looks like a mess, but it looks a little bit better now. But I just wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. So I wanted to tell you how things have been going with me for the first 3 months of ownership with this vehicle. So in terms of me loving the car, that has not changed. I absolutely love this vehicle. I think it's absolutely amazing. It has brought me joy every single time I get behind the wheel, and sometimes even more than just regular joy. This car is an absolute blast to drive. It can get good fuel economy. I just can't get good fuel economy myself because I keep on wanting to hear that exhaust going to Sport Plus. But I will say I have been trying to get better fuel economy than just bad. And it is capable of doing so, but it's really hard to fight the temptation to just go all out all the time. So that's definitely something to consider, especially now with the gas prices going so crazy. So one thing that I wanted to mention, and it's a very small thing, and I'm sure if you have an M240i or G26, M440i or i4, you've probably seen that your key actually will come apart from here, and then there's also one more piece that comes apart here. So the reason why it actually comes off even further is because that key cylinder that's under the door handle requires that amount of length for it to actually reach. So if you've seen my video in terms of how to get in there, the key cylinder is actually just underneath there, but you have to take the key all the way apart, otherwise it can't reach. So that was one thing that I noticed. Now another thing that I noticed is that there is something in this vehicle called sprint mode, which I didn't know about, but it's definitely there, and I can show you all about it. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. Now, one thing that I had never mentioned before is that I'm a father of one child, and so far with one child, with a two-door sports car, you can definitely manage. Now, if you have two kids, you may not be able to make this work, but with one kid, there's enough room back here for a child safety seat. My daughter, she's almost 3 years old, so she's still in a forward-facing child safety seat, but she absolutely loves the car. She always wants to go in Daddy's purple car, and when I'm in here, she keeps on saying faster, faster, faster. So I will say, if you're a family with one child, this can work. Would you need a second car that's more family oriented? Yes. But if you have that, then this is not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so I'm just gonna start the car. We're currently sitting at just over 2,700 kilometers, I think it's just said there. Yeah. I don't have a lot of mileage for 3 months, but my commute is very short, so that's actually a huge benefit. So now I just wanted to show you, if we go over here, let's take a look at some of the stuff that we've got going on here. So if I go to driving information and I go to trip data, so you can see, so the gray represents comfort mode, the red represents sport, and the blue represents eco. So you can see I've been trying to get the fuel consumption down. My average since refueling is 17.8, which is not my normal. I usually am sitting around 12 or 11 liters per 100 kilometers. But let's take a look at from the factory. So yeah, see, we're at 14 liters per 100 kilometers, which is a little bit more reasonable. But since we last refueled, I was in sport mode a little bit today. And let's look at individual settings. So that shows 13.8, which is kind of like since when I first got the car. So I'm gonna just leave that at refueling where I normally like to have it. Now, just wanted to show you that, what type of fuel efficiency I've been getting. We can definitely get better fuel efficiency than that, but that's 100% on me. I can't stop going into sport mode, so that's my fault. Okay guys, so I want to talk to you a little bit about, I almost feel like they're a little bit hidden because nobody's really talked about this, and I wasn't even aware that this was a feature in the vehicle until just recently, so I wanted to include this in my 3 months of ownership video review of the M240i. But essentially, what sprint mode is the ability to use the paddles to kind of shortcut to different settings and such. So I'll show you what I mean by that. We're gonna get onto the highway here. Actually, you know what? I think if we go the other way, there'll be less traffic so that we can try something. So, for those of you who have been driving in Comfort or Eco to either save fuel or because, you know, maybe you just like the Comfort suspension better if you've got the adaptive. But with that being said, I'm going to show you what this sprint mode does, but we need to get onto the highway so I can show you what it does. So we're in Comfort mode, and in fact, you know what? Actually, I'll leave it in Comfort, but you can do this in Comfort, Sport, or Eco Pro, but I think it's more beneficial if you're in Comfort or Eco Pro, to be honest. So we're gonna let the car get up to speed. We're gonna cruise to about, say, 110 or so. All right, so we're cruising here. So I'm in drive, I'm in Comfort, full traction on. So watch this. If I kick down the pedal all the way to the floor and I hold the left downshift, or the left paddle, or the downshift paddle. So watch this. I'm going to kick down and I'm going to press and hold the left downshift and watch what it does. So what it did there is, look, it put me into Sport, and it says Sprint on the screen, and it downshifted me to the lowest possible gear. So let's say if I saw, I don't know, an AMG or something pulling up beside me and it looks like they're gonna try to pass me and maybe even cut me off. If I really don't want them to do that, I could put my foot all the way to the floor, hold the left downshift, it'll put me in Sport even though I wasn't in Sport, and it puts me to the lowest gear. Now, if I hold the right paddle, or the upshift paddle, now it puts me back to drive, and now I'm back into Comfort. So you can also use this feature. So let's say if you've shifted a gear, so now I'm in M8, which means manual and 8th gear, and I don't want to be in manual anymore, I can press and hold the right paddle, and that brings us back to drive. So I don't have to move this, the gear selector, to go in and out of manual. So let me show you again. I'm going to actually now go to Eco Pro, so I'm cruising, trying to get good fuel efficiency, and then all of a sudden I see an AMG, I floor it all the way down, and it goes into sprint mode, downshifts to the lowest gear, and I'm in Sport. So that's pretty much what that function is. I haven't really heard of anybody talking about this function too much, and I just held the right paddle. Now I'm back into Eco Pro again. So that is the sprint function. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. I didn't even know it was a feature in the car, but I learned about it because I was studying the owner's manual, and yeah, that is something that I wanted to share with you that I didn't know about this car. And I presume if this information is accurate for this vehicle, I would imagine that there's probably other cars like M Performance cars, M340i, M440i, that probably have the exact same type of feature. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think that's completely awesome. And I'm still loving the fact that you can change the modes in this car, and it really drastically changes the way the car feels. Okay everyone, so we're back at the store, and I just wanted to take you for a ride to show you what that sprint mode is all about, because I never even heard of it. If you guys have heard of it, let me know in the comments below. If you've tested it out in other cars, let me know that as well, because I'm now curious as to, I'm going to imagine it's probably in every M Performance vehicle. If you like that video, please like, share, and subscribe. and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave you with some nice gratuitous shots of my M240i.